Today is the official start of New York Jets OTAs. We give you a couple of storylines to watch, and Jets football is a little bit closer. Boy Green Daily starts now.
I'm gonna lose my gosh darn bananas. Boy Green Daily starts now. Zoinks!
Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily. Let's go!
Dewey Mama.
Put your seatbelts on. Get ready for the ride. We're the freaking New York Jets, so we're built for this shit.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? I'm Paul Eston Jr., a.k.a. Boy Green. I'm the New York Jets digital reporter for Heavy.com. Welcome to Boy Green Daily, a daily New York Jets video show, also available wherever you get your podcasts. And people, celebrate to the high heavens. Today is the official start of Phase 3, a.k.a. OTAs.
Here's what I do know. We're the freaking New York Jets, so we're built for this shit.
Let's freaking go. We are a step closer to New York Jets football, people. Here's a couple of other nuggets. What we're about to experience. Again, OTAs Phase 3 begins today. Organized team activities. Okay? OTAs, that's what we have right now. OT bleeping A's, which, by the way, are still voluntary at this point. We don't get mandatory until we get to the mandatory minicamp, which will be June 10th through the 12th. But we do have these OTA workouts, and according to Aaron Glenn, the numbers have been great. And then Phase 1 was 90%, Phase 2 was 94%. We'll see what Phase 3 ends up being. And here are all the OTA workout schedules. The Jets will be working out May 20th through the 22nd. That's this week. Then next week, the 28th through the 30th. And then the following week, it'll be June 2nd through the 5th. Mini break, mandatory minicamp, big break. And then when we return again, it will be Jets training camp. Bing, boom, bam. Booyah. That is how we do it, baby. Let's go. As you guys head on in on YouTube, make sure you guys like the video, hit subscribe, spread the good gospel of all things Boy Green Daily. Another way you can contribute is as J-Boy just did right here. A 5-pack of Boy Green Coffee Club memberships. Let's ride. And every time we get at least 5 memberships gifted all at the same time, well, we've got to hear from the love of... Let's go. J-Boy now has 165 raffle tickets so far this month. He has been kicking ass and taking names. You love to see it, baby. You guys can get involved in our raffle for this month. All you have to do is spend $2.99 on the channel once, and you have at least one raffle ticket. So you have a chance to win these prizes I'm about to throw up here on the big board. Let's do it. Right here, right now. Here we go. It is this. We have a New York Jets commemorative game coin. It comes with a certificate of authenticity from the National Football League. Full-size signature football that's autographed by the entire team last year. From the New York Jets, it's a full-size NFL football. Both of those prizes will go to one lucky person on June 1st, so you guys can continue to contribute throughout the month of May. At the end of May at midnight, boom, we'll close the doors on any other raffles that are coming in the door. And then June 1st, the next day, we will pick a winner. So good luck to everybody. And here's how you can do it. You can join the Boy Green Coffee Club. That's a pinned comment right now on youtube.com/boygreen25. Pinned comment says join the Boy Green Coffee Club. You can become a YouTube member of this channel. You can help support the channel for only $2.99 a month. Or you can give channel memberships. That's what J-Boy just did. If you're watching on YouTube, there's a little money emoji. Click that. There's a bunch of options that ways you can gift. The final one is gift channel memberships. You can gift these memberships to other avid listeners of the show to give them an opportunity to get all the perks. Or super chat. Send in a question, comment, or joke if you'd like. Feel free, and those all work the same. So let's go. Here are the 5 new members of Boy Green Coffee Club. Shout out to our guy J-Boy here on the program. Let's ride. Also, JRB just dropped the Discord link. If you have joined the Boy Green Coffee Club, either by purchasing your own or getting one from somebody else, you can click on our Discord link. That is an extra app that we talk well beyond the lengths of the show. Fior YT, David, Jorge Galvez, Skinny D23, and 99 Jet. You guys all were just gifted Boy Green Coffee Club memberships from our boy J-Boy. Let's keep them raining, baby. Let's keep them raining from the high heavens. Let's go, baby. Excellent. And thank you so much for supporting the show. Appreciate you. Now, here it is. So OTAs are now. OTAs are now. They start today. Here's all the rules for the OTAs. Here's how it all works, people. Phase 3, a.k.a. OTAs, is a 4-week period. Across this 4 weeks, there are 10 OTA practices. Here are the rules. Teams can have a maximum of 3 OTAs in each of the first 2 weeks, and a fourth non-OTA workout is allowed, but those will have phase 2 rules. That means no offense versus defense, no one-on-ones, no helmets, things of that nature. Live contact is not permitted. Players are not allowed to wear shoulder pads, but they can wear helmets. Teams are allowed to conduct 7-on-7, 9-on-7, 11-on-11, and players can be at the facility for no more than 6 hours per day. OTAs, which again I stress are voluntary, will then finish up with that mandatory minicamp I brought up earlier, which is June 10th through the 12th, where players are allowed to be at the facility for 10 hours a day and a maximum of 24 hours over a 3-day period. That will obviously be 3 days, June 10th, 11th, and 12th. The beginning of that week is when physicals are taken, and we'll get some of the updates on weight, sizes, heights, changes, anything of that nature on the New York Jets official roster sheet. There are all the rules. That's how it works. Shout out to the New York Jets. Ethan Greenberg laying that pretty straight on the New York Jets website. Much appreciated. Thank you very much. Okay. Appreciate it. Now let's get into this. I think this is a fun little thing here, which can also lead us into some storylines for OTAs. And we'll also talk about the top 5 players to watch in OTAs. That'll be coming up at 3 o'clock. Boy Green meets Woody. Hopefully you guys can check that out. I've got a list of 5 players I'm going to be keeping my eye on for that. But before we get to all that, let's get to 3 storylines I'll be watching here in Jets OTAs. Yeah, let's do it. It says we had 3 jersey changes. Let's throw this up on the big board real quick. Here are the 3 jersey changes for the New York Jets. Will McDonald went from 99 to 9. More on that in a second. Xavier Gibson is now 3. We already knew that. We saw him a couple weeks ago. But he is now jersey number 3. He was 82. And then Malachi Corley has undergone his 3rd jersey change. He started out as 17, then he went to jersey number 14. Now he's at jersey number 6. Now, the good news about this jersey number 6 is in the locker room. To his left is Garrett Wilson. To his right is Justin Fields. He picked it. I don't know about the jersey number, but he picked a pretty good place for locker presence, learning from the GOAT. Okay, the number 1 alpha wide receiver on this team. That can only help having Garrett Wilson right there. And then his quarterback, you want to be in his good graces. Hey, Malachi Corley, when Aaron Rodgers was here, was trying to stay at his house. So, hey now. JoJo, you're funny. Damn, what am I going to do with that Gibson jersey now? That's funny. I appreciate that. That's good. That was a good laugh. It was a good laugh. Beautiful. So, here's the thing. I know a lot of people are pretty angry about the Will McDonald change. We'll start with Will. We'll start with Willie. Okay? A lot of people are like, 9. 99 was great. And it was great. But here's the behind-the-scenes story. We have an article in the YouTube description down below as well. Here's the behind-the-scenes story on this. Will McDonald wore 99 and the jersey number 9 in college. Okay? He wore both. Wore 99 and 9. Now he's just sort of following that same path in the National Football League. He spent 5 years in college, all at Iowa State. In his first year, he wore 99. His final 4 seasons, he wore number 9 at Iowa State. Also, he wore number 9 in high school at Waukesha, I always mispronounce that, Waukesha North. Okay, he wore number 9. He played wide receiver and pass rusher. Those are some crazy high school highlights if you've never seen those. That's a trip. But he's gone back to 9, where he's had jersey in high school and college and everything else. Also, quick detour here on this conversation. Quick detour here. We'll get back to the other players in a second. But Will McDonald, the 99 looked awesome, right? When he had 99, that was pretty cool. You know, we all enjoyed the number 99. But there was another player in Jets history that we enjoyed seeing the jersey number 99 on the back and the front and the shoulder pads. Okay? There's another man that I would like to highlight right now. And maybe this is a perfect opportunity for us to make some history here. And the history in which I'm referencing here, and this is incredibly zoomed in, so I don't know if we can back out on this one. But either way, this man that's very much on your screen is Mark Gastineau right there. Mark gosh darn Gastineau. Okay. Yeah, let me zoom out a little bit so we can get a better look. There we go. There he is. Mark Gastineau. Now that 99 is sort of available. Now, apparently, according to the Jets roster sheet, it is available. According to a player on his Instagram, it may not be. Rashad Weaver, who he picked up formerly of the Tennessee Titans, apparently he took up 99 after Will McDonald left it. But technically speaking, on the roster sheet, Rashad Weaver is 92. But that's neither here nor there. Whether it's available or not, Rashad Weaver is Rashad Weaver. Maybe we should retire number 99 for Mark Gastineau. Maybe it's long overdue. That's what I was sort of talking about yesterday. A lot of Jet players have worn 99, and there's been some fun ones over the years. There's been some fun ones. Steve McClendon, Brian Thomas, my boy, in the early 2000s. Hugh Douglas, sure. Will McDonald, obviously, most recently. But Mark Gastineau is the most notable. He spent his entire 10-year career in the NFL with the New York Jets. 5 Pro Bowls, 5 All-Pros, led the league in sacks twice, former NFL Defensive Player of the Year, 107.5 sacks, sack exchange, held the single-season sack record for 17 years. Come on, man. And only 5 Jets players have their jersey retired. I don't know if you guys can name them, but there's only 5. Only 5 players have. In no particular order. Joe Namath, of course, number 12. Don Maynard, number 13, our Hall of Fame wide receiver and Hall of Fame quarterback. Curtis Martin, number 28, our Hall of Fame running back. Joe Klecko, our Hall of Fame defensive lineman, number 73. Okay, Joe Namath is number 12. Don Maynard, number 13. Curtis Martin, number 28. Joe Klecko, number 73. Those first 4 are all in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. And then finally, Dennis Byrd, number 90. God rest his soul, Dennis Byrd. Okay. God rest his soul. We have Dennis Byrd as well, who passed away in 2016. So we have those 5 jersey numbers retired. That's it. You can make a strong-ass case that 99 should be the next one retired by the New York Jets. This is a weird aside on this storylines and stuff. And I agree, Phil. He's the true sack leader. That Strahan with Favre falling was BS. Now, ultimately, it would have fallen anyway because I believe, I'm going to double check, I believe TJ Watt has 22.5 as well. I believe he tied it a couple years ago. But it would have lasted a hell of a lot longer. Instead of lasting 17 years, it would have lasted like whatever that math is, 34 years or something. It would have lasted, long story short, a long-ass time, which I believe so. Let me double check that. But I'm pretty sure TJ Watt, if I remember correctly, tied it. TJ Watt and Strahan hold it together, 22.5. Watt matched it in 2021. So, yeah, that would have been another 17 years. It would have been 34 years of holding the single season sack record. So, anyway, long story short, Mark Gastineau, he's pretty damn good and has been pretty good for a long time. Now, obviously, there's a lot of extracurricular activities with Mark Gastineau and his sack celebrations and this and that and all this other hoopla. But come on, man. Mark Gastineau is a legend. And 99 is a badass pass rushing number. It's awesome. So, like I said, that would be one that would be high on my list. Jets have 5 retired, and all 5 are obviously worthy. But just, when Will McDonald put up the 99, I'm kind of like, is now the perfect time? We just kind of do it? I don't know. Maybe that's neither here nor there, but pour one out for Mark Gastineau, baby, and Connie Carberg for fighting him. Let's go. Anywho, I just wanted to get into that a little bit. But here are some other storylines. We could go back to those other 2 players that changed their jersey numbers. Why not? Let's get those guys back on the screen. So Will McDonald, let's go to him just for a second. A lot of people criticized that pick when it happened. 15th overall, 2023 NFL draft. And first year doesn't really play. Basically does the Jermaine Johnson thing. And then last year, 10.5 sacks, baby. Double-digit sack pass rusher. This guy's got a lot of potential. Really excited about him. Now this Aaron Glenn scheme, let's see what he does. What are they going to operate with? So, yeah, man. Let's see what Will McDonald could do. Pretty excited about that young man. He's an important piece in general, but an important piece especially not knowing what kind of Jermaine Johnson we're going to get. And we didn't add anything, really, to that defensive end room, Rashad Weaver aside. Cough, cough. There's not a whole lot there. There's a bunch of the undrafted free agents from last year, and Brady McGregor and Eric Watts and these kind of guys. There's a whole heck of not sure what's going to happen there. So Will is a critical, important piece to the puzzle. Will McDonald absolutely is. Xavier Gibson, I'm just going to be perfectly blunt. I don't know if Xavier Gibson makes a roster. I'm not sure if he ends up making the roster. I think he's going to have a lot of competition for, if you just go to the wide receiver, right, and you go through him, he's going to be the 5th or 6th wide receiver, play special teams. That gives him a chance. And then in the return game, I think he's going to have a lot of competition. So Xavier Gibson, jersey number 3, jersey number 82, jersey number nothing. I don't think that's going to matter. I think Xavier Gibson is not long for New York, is my gut right now at this point. And then finally, Malachi Corley. He's a total mystery, man. We have no friggin' idea. What he is or isn't. Obviously, the previous regime was pretty excited about him. They traded to the first pick of the 3rd round. They tried to trade it to the middle of the 2nd round to get this guy. And we didn't get to see a whole heck of a lot of him. He has more jersey changes than catches last year, I mean, for Pete's sake. Like, we have no idea what this guy is. My hopes are high. I'm excited. I hope this new offensive coordinator and new regime can sort of take advantage of this young man. But, hey, there's a chance he doesn't even make the roster. But we'll see. Like I said, I've broken down the wide receiver room into pieces. You have Garrett Wilson. Yeah, he's pretty good. He's in his own category. Then you have the 2 physical guys, Josh Reynolds, Allen Lazard, basically sort of the same player. So I don't know if they keep both. Maybe they do for insurance and depth. But I could see them only keeping one of those 2 or both. You go to the 3 youngies, okay? You got Malachi Corley, got Arian Smith, the Jets draft pick, 4th round out of Georgia. And then you have Tyler Johnson, who you signed in free agency. So those 3 young cats, we'll see how they jockey for position. And then you have Xavier Gibson, who, like I said, I don't even think he makes the roster. So, yeah, but I'll be kind of curious. Now, Malachi Corley, we talked about this a couple weeks ago, but Corley and Arian Smith are very different skill set players. Corley's got a lot more Brutus beefcake on his frame. He's like 215, 220, and Arian Smith's like a $180, $185. So there's a significant weight gap there. So you could probably ask them to do different things. So 3 jersey changes, Will McDonald the most significant of which, and the other 2 will be fighting for roster spots. That's just how it's going to work. Let's go Kyle Clifton here. Let's show him up. A member of the Boy Green Coffee Club. I loved Mark, but I am against the idea of, by the way, what I said, a jersey retirement. Off-field issues, me first, penalties, stat chasing, kind of disqualify. We're not the Yankees. Retiring a number has to mean something for NYJ. And to me, on that last point, I don't think Mark Gastineau is some, like, we're not the Yankees, that's true, but we don't have 22 or 23 jerseys retired. We have 5. And Mark Gastineau, to me, by the accolades, is totally worthy. And stat chasing, perhaps, but those stat chasing resulted in big plays for the team, right? 107.5 sacks. That's when he hung up the cleats. That was a very high number in NFL history. And it wasn't even as high as it was because, technically speaking, the sack stat did not become official until 1982. And prior to 1982, Mark Gastineau had some amazing seasons that were only recently counted when you start looking at the Pro Football Reference data points. It made his career look a lot lesser. But it's actually much better now, again, with the 107.5, considering the full story there for Mark Gastineau. So, again, the Yankees have like 20-something jerseys retired. The Jets have 5. I think there's a middle ground there in which we could get. I don't think it's just Jets or jump to Yankees. I think there's some other jerseys that can totally be retired. And I get it to the point, Kyle, that there are some extracurricular activities here which give you pause about the penalties, this or that, or some boneheaded mistakes and decisions. But I will also highlight that the Pro Football Hall of Fame is not supposed to consider outside football activities. They're not. Sometimes they do, right? Or extra commentary, right? Ricky Waters, for who, for what? You can't tell me otherwise that that's not the reason that guy's not in the Hall of Fame. alligator arms and for who, for what, they're like, we can't put this guy in. I think that's totally a reason. We have had all T.O., right? He is arguably the second best receiver of all time. He had to wait 3 years to get in. And they only did that as like a form of punishment because of the media aspect. So it had nothing to do with the on the field stuff. But sometimes they challenge it. So technically speaking, in the bylaws of the Pro Football Hall of Fame, they're not supposed to consider anything off the field in the potential induction of a player. But I get it for some. It's hard not to consider it because you're just a human being. You're not a robot. You're not inputting information. To me, the retiring of a number would mean something for me, for Mark Gastineau. I'm sure for Mark Gastineau himself, but maybe not for the fans. We'll have to do a poll on that perhaps in the future. Tennessee Heisman asked, do they play better when they change their number? It's sort of been, there's a history of both good and bad on that. Sometimes it's a spark, sometimes it's not. Yeah. JoJo says, I hear you, Kyle. Even his teammates had issues with him, which is true. But again, the Ring of Honor is not a popularity contest. It's not like, all right, let's go through each teammate and see what you thought of him. Now, I will say AG in the most recent Jets documentary that came out, one of the big factors he said that they consider by prospects is how do you endear yourself to your teammates, me, the evaluation of you, and then how do your teammates feel about you? That's a very high ranking in Aaron Glenn's pre-draft process. So apparently, Mark Gastineau might have not fared very well in that if he was on the 2025 Jets, but he's not. Interesting, though. We'll see, but it's a good conversation. It's a good conversation. Yeah, it's a new world. A lot of people are sort of miffed by some of the jersey numbers, like Will McDonald wearing 9. It's a new world. You got to get used to it, I guess, but it's different. It's very different. Yeah. Kyle says, our standards are even more subjective than the Hall of Fame. Okay, fair enough. And I would say this, just on the Mark Gastineau stuff, just because it all came back up. I've seen a lot of people trashing, not now, but like when the 30 for 30 doc came out and I talked to Ken Rogers, who works for NFL Films, and we had him on for an interview. That's a great interview. You guys should go check that back out if you didn't see it, but it's in my biggest interview playlist. But when Mark Gastineau had that viral clip with Brett Favre where he sort of approached him at an autograph sign, that's like the first time he ran into him in a long time. And Mark Gastineau's like, you hurt me, man, taking that away by falling. Long story short, Brett Favre fell over, gave Michael Strahan the sack record, which pissed a lot of people off because if he didn't do that, Strahan wouldn't have got it, which means, again, Gastineau, as we now know with NFL history, he would have held that single-season sack record for another 17 years before it got taken by it would have been straight up taken by TJ Watt in 2021. So it would have been alive for 34 years. And a lot of people giving Mark Gastineau crap like, oh my God, dude, get over it, man. It's like 20 years ago, this many years ago, whatever, 40 years ago, on when they finally did have this meetup a couple years ago, 30-something years ago. And a lot of people said, get over it, dude. I totally understand Mark Gastineau. Your livelihood is the sack. So to get the single season sack record, one of the greatest achievements in NFL history that you can have as an individual player, and to hold that for 17 years, or for it to get taken away as a joke by Brett Favre being friendly with Strahan, falling over, giving him a hug and all that, I don't blame Mark Gastineau for being pissed then and then holding ill will for a long time. That's fucked up, man. That's 100% messed up. So I don't blame Mark Gastineau at all. I know a lot of people made fun of him for that. I'm like, dude, he's only human. I think it really showed a human side to him. Now, I'm not saying he's a perfect guy. I'm not saying I'm putting him in the Hall of Fame of people. That's not what I'm saying. But just for the player and in that moment and how some people have been sort of talking about it, I'm like, hey, man, I have some empathy there. For sure. Yeah, go New York, go. Oh, your New York stuff. Yeah, next play, what's that, Wednesday night. They play tomorrow night. But the Western Conference final start today. Lucas has update on tickets this week. Hey now, yes, for those who want to go to the Boy Green Tailgate Extravaganza, which will have my entire family there, my fiance, my children, my father, Mr. 0.0% himself, Woody, so many others. It's going to be a lot of fun. Some Jet content creators are going to be there. It's going to be a good time. If you guys do want to do that, I should learn and update it here in a couple of days on what the prices will be for the Jets tickets. Again, right now we do not know the Jets ticket prices, but that's going to unlock everything else. How much a tailgate ends up being based on the ticket price and everything else. So we'll have all that information. So everyone that has expressed interest in watching a Jets game with me and all those people I just mentioned, yes, we should have information later this week. Fingers crossed. I'm really excited for it. So I should be hearing from the Jets in a matter of days. And as soon as I get that update, I will be reaching out to you guys. So if you guys have not yet, I will give another shout out to hit the sign up sheet. If you go in the YouTube description of this video down below, there's a Google Doc sign up sheet to expressed interest in saying, hey, Paul, here's my first and last name. I want to see a Jets game with you. I'm going to bring me and my family. I'm going to bring me and my wife, me and my husband. I'm going to bring whatever. Just fill out that information down below. I need your first and last name. How many Jets tickets? How many tailgate tickets? That's going to be food and drink. And then a good email for you as well. And if you buy a Jets ticket through me, you do have access to a $45 gold parking pass. The Jets, that's the cheapest the Jets can give it, but you can only get that parking pass if you buy a ticket through me, they say. They have enough parking passes for the amount of tickets. So if you buy 2 or 3 Jets tickets from me, you can have 2 or 3 parking passes. I don't know why you would need that many for your situation, but that's neither here nor there. So anywho, yes, if you guys have not yet hit it up, it is in the it is in the YouTube description down below. It's a Google Doc sign-up sheet. If you have any issues accessing it, you guys can just email me. Someone just did that. Actually, 2 people have done that over the last 2 days. Paul, I couldn't access it. I'm emailing you. Here's how many tickets I want. I want this, 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 and I filled it out for them. So you guys can feel free to take advantage of that as well. My email is Paul, Paul, the letter, my last name, ESDEN, JR@gmail.com. If you have any interest in sitting with us or doing anything with the tailgate, let us know. And I'll put you on the sheet. It'll be, I don't know how many tickets we're going to have right now. It's a 60-plus number. Might be approaching 70 now, which is awesome. That is crazy. And once I give you guys all the information, I'll be reaching out. That's also why it's important to put your point of contact information. Once I get more information, I'm going to reach out to each of you individually via email. Hey, Johnny, you said you wanted to come and you needed 4 tickets. Is that still true? Here's the ticket price. And Johnny goes, yes or no. And I'm like, okay, no problem. Moving on. And then I'm just updating the sheet. So that's how it will go from that perspective. But thank you, Luca, for asking. And yes, information should be coming this week. So awesome. Awesome. And also, I want to say this for people that don't understand. I've heard other people reach out to me, Paul, you got to hurry up. I'm seeing on Ticketmaster and SeatGeek and all these things, tickets are going on sale. We're losing ground. No ground is lost. I spoke with the New York Jets, and what they offer for groups is an entire separate piece of the pie that no one publicly can access. These are blocked off tickets. So we're not losing them to anybody, so don't worry about that. We're in all good shape. And again, also, here's another thing you can sleep a little better at night. There will be no ticket fees and no tax on these tickets, which is awesome. That means, long story short, you get the best possible seat for the best possible price. Shout out to the Jets. I gave them deposit on the tickets like a month or 2 ago, which guaranteed that would be the case. So I'm not saying we're sitting in nosebleeds. We won't be. But we're just going to get, when I say the tickets are whatever the price are, you get them for the best possible price. And I just want you guys all to know that. So, yeah, it's going to be sweet. I can't wait. Last year we did it. And, yeah, it's going to be freaking cool. I can't wait. Oh, I didn't know Kyle Clifton was a Syracuse guy. When I was up at school in Syracuse, I work in Syracuse. That's where my radio show is. Sutter's Mill on the SU Hill at $5 all you can eat wings and draft beer. God, wasn't that the days, Kyle? I can only imagine what that price is now, buddy. But hey, you're a Syracuse guy, fellow Syracuse guy. I love it. Yeah, sure. Shout out to Terrence and everybody else who's here in the Boy Green Coffee Club and who's in the chat. Appreciate you. We'll be opening up the phone lines here in a little bit. Again, Jets OTAs start today, baby. Exciting. Yeah. And that's an excellent point by Phil, by the way. Going back to the Mark Gastineau thing, the amount of money lost by Gastineau with appearances as the leading sack leader is huge over the years. Now, I know a lot of people outside aren't going to care about that, but that's true. For another 17 years, he could have been the sack king and all those other things that you can market when you're doing these jersey things and meetups and autograph things and all this stuff, especially with all the medical stuff that he's been through. Boy, any financial means can help that man. So yeah, it is true. Again, it's just a really sad story. You watch the 30 for 30 that they just did. I walk away feeling sad. I'm like, damn, man. Damn. It is a sad story. Yeah. Our boy Scotty said, sign Keenan Allen. I wrote his agents. Okay. Let us know what they say back. A Brandon Marshall opportunity. Wow. That's high hopes. I hope you're right, Scotty. Brandon Marshall had the greatest speaking of greatest single seasons, Brandon Marshall had the greatest single season we've ever seen from a Jets receiver in 2015. And these numbers are seared into the back of my brain. 109 catches, 1,502 yards, 1,502, and 14 touchdowns. Those were the Brandon Marshall numbers in 2015. Again, those numbers are seared into my brain with how special that season was. Brandon Marshall and Garrett Wilson are the only receivers in Jets history that have 100-plus catches in a single season. It's Garrett Wilson, it's Brandon Marshall. That's the list. Garrett Wilson will eventually break that. I have no doubts. But yeah, Brandon Marshall. If we could get a Brandon Marshall-esque season, that could be worth it. ESPN connected once again. They pushed Amari Cooper to the Jets. I've not seen the Keenan Allen love. Maybe that changes. Yeah. That's good stuff. I appreciate that. Luca, exactly. Deposit blocked off online platforms. Correct. So, again, we're not competing with those tickets, so don't even worry about those people. All those single game tickets and all the crazy shit people are buying online. Again, what we're going to be able to access is different. So, yeah. And also, I will mention this, that it appears it's 99.9%. It's literally on the goal line. I will get confirmation from the Jets here in a few days. It will be Jets-Cowboys, Week 5, October 5th. And Gucci Finesse, I know you wanted to go to the Steelers game, and a few other people also voted for that, but the majority of the votes across all the platforms was Cowboys. That won number one. So feel free to go to multiple games if you want. Go to the Steelers game. Yeah, sure. Week 1, season opener. I imagine that's going to be litty. I think Jets Talk 24/7, is that what they said, is doing a ticket buy? I'm not sure if that's true, but I think someone told me that. So, yeah. Yeah. Oh, not a Q's guy. Crosstown, go Dolphins. Lemoyne. Kyle's a Lemoyne guy. I'm sorry for categorizing you as the orange. It must have been pretty uncomfortable for you. Oh, Lemoyne Dolphin. Wow. Okay, there you go. We have that locally here in town. Salute. Yeah, but it's looking like Jets-Cowboys. Looking like Jets-Cowboys Week 5. Like I said, it's as locked in as you can lock in. So, folks, you can start sort of booking that in your brain, the date, and marking that off if you do indeed plan on coming. And again, right now, I'm not screaming it with our pinned comments on YouTube or anything because I want to wait for everything to be official, and then we'll be blowing it up everywhere. So you guys will have plenty of opportunities to get on that list. But time will be running out. I think I got to give the Jets the final ticket number and money in a couple weeks. So, guys, you got to make sure you're on a swivel for that to be ready for that. There will be a deadline coming up here in June. So there you go. Okay, here we go. Why don't we do this? We're going to open up the phone lines, babe. We can talk Jets OTAs. Anything else on your mind? Let's get to it. Quick half timeout. More coming up here on Boy Green Daily.
Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily. Talking Jets football, man. Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily. New York Jets Football Club. Offense, defense, special teams. Watch Jets football with Boy Green. J-E-T-S. Jets. Let's go.
You heard it there from Hep Baby. Let's go. We got 200-plus people in the room. Like the video, hit subscribe. We're here on a Tuesday, May 20th. The start of New York Jets OTAs is today, baby. Phone lines are open. That's a pinned comment on youtube.com/boygreen25. You're watching on Facebook or Twitter, you have to hop on over to YouTube to be able to call into the program. Let's kick it off with some Easy for breakfast. What's going on, Easy?
Hey, good morning.
Okay. I like the shade, sir. That's nice.
Oh, yeah. I'm driving out to Jacksonville, North Carolina.
Jacksonville, North Carolina. I didn't even know there was a Jacksonville, North Carolina.
Yeah, it's one of those military towns. It's not
Oh, okay.
far from Fort Bragg.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
Yeah. Hey, I think I got a notification from you saying that you needed some information from me for that for the football game.
Yeah, let me see. 1 second. Let me see if that's true. One moment here. Beep boop bop. We will check that right now. Let's see. All right, we got our tailgate sign up sheet here. Yeah, let's see if I have it here for our boy Easy. Where are you? Yeah, Easy. What's a good email for you?
I can tell you over the phone. It's public.
Sure.
It's my
Okay.
initials. It's EZ
Yep.
ROCKR. Easy Rocker.
Easy. Okay. Easy ROCKR.
Yep, at Yahoo.
Okay. Beautiful.
Dot,
And how many
.com.
tickets do you plan on getting, Easy?
Right now, I plan on getting one unless my son wants to go. But
Okay.
he's
So I'll
kind of
put you down
cheap,
for
so I
one, but
don't
if
know.
anything changes, you could let me know.
My son's kind of a cheapskate, so I don't know if he's going to want to go.
Fair enough. And then the last question is Easy. Do you need a parking pass?
I thought the parking came with the ticket.
No. It's a separate thing.
Well, if I'm going to try to hook up with Woody.
That's
If
true.
you
Then
want-
maybe you guys can all
Yeah.
carpool. That's fine.
If
Yeah.
you can give Woody my email address so
Will
that
do.
we can get in touch and we can coordinate. Maybe there's a couple other guys in the Triangle area in North Carolina.
Yeah, that'd be
or
great.
even
Right. I
maybe
know
some
there's
people,
Indy, Philly, a couple of those guys. Yeah, sure.
or even people coming up from Florida. We could meet them out in Rocky Mount, which is right where, Highway 64 and Highway I-95 meet, or anything like that. And we could just, carpool up, figure it out. And then we we could split for the parking and save the parking tickets for people who are coming individually to save them some money.
Yeah, that would be great. So yeah, so you're all filled out on that. So we'll keep you posted as things happen. I'll be reaching out via email to confirm anything in the future. So yes.
Yeah, I think we were talking. You were talking about some stuff a little earlier. I caught it a little bit late.
Sure.
What was it you were just talking about before we got into this? What was the subject today?
So there was two
Garrett
subjects.
Wilson. Garrett Wilson.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
And Mark Gastineau. Yeah, I saw that 30 for 30 with Mark Gastineau.
Moving.
And
yeah, very emotional.
at the very end, when he tells the story about how he was molested as a child, that pretty much explains everything about how he was, how he always wanted the pat on the back, how he was always looking for reassurance, because even though he was a great player, he always had that little sadness and lack of confidence going on. And that's a terrible thing to happen to a child. It can really destroy your life. And in some way, even though he had a lot of success, he probably could have been one of the highest rated guys in the Hall of Fame had it not been for that deep-seated sadness, because it kind of alienated him from a lot of people. And when you start talking about at the end of a career Hall of Fame nods, that negative impact, socially, can sometimes really hurt you.
Sure. Yeah, I won't play psychiatrist, but yes, you could make those conclusions. Sure,
Because
that's possible.
if you look at his credentials, they're every bit as good as Joe Klecko. I mean, he had the multiple All-Pro seasons, multiple Pro Bowl seasons. I mean, he was a sack leader. He was always in the top 10 of sacks every year he played, just about. I mean, he made some very childish and hurtful decisions. The whole Brigitte Nielsen stuff and all that during his his time. And I attribute a lot of that to a lot of the stuff that was mentally going on in his head. So it was a very sad thing. But he was a great player. He was my favorite player. That was the era. That was my favorite era. I mean, they didn't win championships, but they were a decent team, and they always had a great defense. And I can remember the sack exchange and Kenny O'Brien and
Yeah.
and Wesley Walker and Lamb Jones and all them guys. I mean, that was a great time. That was a fun time.
Well, he's Gastineau's a polarizing guy right now. Literally in the middle of the show on Twitter, someone tweeted at me, "Gastineau quit on the team. He's a disgrace. Should never be honored. In fact, most of the current defense quit on the team last year. I do not refer to that unit as the defense. To me, they're the Gastineaus." So a lot of people have a lot of emotions about Mark Gastineau.
And I get that, but if you understand what that poor man was going through,
yeah,
I mean, he had a lot of. I mean, you could see him in that 30 for 30. He opened up, and I give him a lot of respect because a lot of people will take a secret like that to their grave. So, and he was just open and public about it. I give him a lot of respect for that. I really do.
And I will also say this on a separate.
He's trying to make amends with the second thing.
Right.
And
yeah,
I
believe so
especially love
too.
the way I especially love the way he treated Abdul Salam when
the soldier of peace.
Towards the
God
end of Salam's
rest his
life.
soul. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the soldier of peace.
That's right. That's right. Hey, by the way,
anyway,
Molon asked, who gets to sit next to Easy at the game? That will be an additional charge. We will probably do a raffle for whoever gets to sit next to Easy. We'll work on those details over the coming months.
But I throw a lot of things out on the show because I throw a lot of things out for discussion. A lot of the things that I announce on the show, I do not back up. I just ask a question and people think that I'm crazy. I'm like, what's wrong with asking a question? And because it helps promote conversation.
I love it.
It helps.
Yeah, it's great for the show.
I throw
you
things
are,
out
and you're
for
helping
your,
it
for
every
your
day.
show,
Yeah,
it's a lot of fun. I think it's fun to talk stuff because we never know what's going to come up.
Exactly. I never know what's going to come up when you call. No idea, and I love it.
I wanted to bring up something. People always talk about Malachi Corley, this, Malachi. He used to be a running back.
Yeah.
That's why he's like a big, hefty load. So that's why he is like a Debo. He's like a hybrid. He's like a running back. I think there are a lot of packages the Jets can use with the RPO, with Fields, and maybe you put Corley in the backfield with Fields on a quick pitch.
Oh, yeah.
Or you put him behind and you throw a pass to the tight end, hook and ladder, pass it to the tight end, and he pitches it to Corley. I'm just throwing this stuff out there. People can think I'm crazy.
Can you email that to Tanner Engstrand, Easy, from your email? Can you email that to our new offensive coordinator?
I don't have to. I'm the Coffee Club OC. He's an NFL OC. I'm sure he'll figure it out on his own.
Okay.
He don't need
you're
me.
our OC on this show, that's for sure.
But I think this running attack is going to be very exciting. I think we have enough in the passing game for a good balanced offense. And our defense, I think, is going to improve with the coaching. Our offensive line, we have great personnel, and now we have better coaching. So I think ranking us 30th was just like, are you guys on drugs? Come on. I mean, we could have won 9 games if Zerline made some kicks last year.
Coulda, shoulda, woulda.
A couple of tackles that were made instead of missed. We were 9 wins last year. So, everyone can have their own opinion, but that's mine.
I love it.
Have a good
Easy.
day, guys.
Thanks for the call. Yeah, I would say this, quite frankly, we're just 12 wins away from going 17-0. That's it. That's all. We're right there. But we didn't get it. But good conversation always with Easy. Jared B says, big load packages. Yeah, I noticed a theme there. That seemed a bit specific, but that's neither here nor there. J-Boy jumping in saying, Easy, in this world today, most people just attack you on what you say, not have a breakdown conversation. So enjoyed it. Yes, very nice. It is always an interesting call. Sure. Yeah, always a fascinating conversation. Salute to Easy. And again, that seat next to Easy is going to be a hot ticket item, baby. We'll be opening up a bidding war on that. All right, let's go back to the phone lines here. We've got the one and only Indy Jets here on the show. What's up, Indy?
Hey, good morning, BG. I want to tell you a quick story about Mark Gastineau because you hear a lot of
story. Yeah,
you hear a lot of negative about Mark.
Definitely. Right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Sure.
So I want you to go back to 1984.
Okay.
Baltimore moved to Indianapolis.
Oh yeah, right. Oh, that was a
All right.
hellhole. Yeah.
Now, I'm from northern Indiana, hence the Indy
Yep.
part, right?
Of course. Yep.
We were Bears fans. I am in 84, I was 12.
Mm-hmm.
All right. My grandfather said, hey, we have an Indiana team now. The first game that was ever played in Indianapolis was a Jets Colts game.
Cool.
He said, hey, we're gonna go to the first. Hey, we've got an Indiana team. Even though we're Bears fans, we're gonna go support our Hoosier team. Okay.
Makes sense. Yeah, sure. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we get there, hours before the game. Back in 1984, you could get into the stadium 3-4 hours before the game started.
Wow. Okay.
So the old RCA Dome
Mhm.
was like a bowl. And so it had about a 20-foot wall that when you were, to get down into so you couldn't just hop the wall.
Right.
So as this young kid, I'm just leaning up against the wall and, leaning up. There was a pipe that went all the way around, and I'm just kind of leaning up, making, just in awe of this huge building.
Mm-hmm.
We were near the visitors tunnel, and a bunch of players come walking out, street clothes, because nobody had ever played in this stadium before.
Right.
And a guy comes walking up to the wall, sees this kid and says, hey, come down here and hang out on the field with us. And again, you can't just jump the wall. So he had to whistle for the usher. Usher says, okay, I'll get him down there. So he takes me down this hallway. Next thing you know, down some stairs. I'm walking through the visitors' locker room.
Wow.
I walked out the tunnel, and this guy is still standing there talking to my grandfather, just having a conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And he walks up, and here's this massive man with hands the size of a basketball. He walks up, and here I am looking up at him like this guy's a god. I'm only, again, I'm 12. He walks up, sticks his hand up and says, hi, I'm Mark Gastineau. Thanks for coming out, hanging out with us.
Wow.
This is how I became a Jets fan. Living in Indiana.
That's amazing. I love that story.
So he said, I'll get you a sack today, kid. Okay.
Uh-huh.
He got four that day. Yeah. And if you can ever rewatch the game, I think you can still find it. You'll see on one of his sacks, he turns around and points at the crowd. That was me.
Oh my God. Wow. What a story, man.
So this is how I became a Jets fan living in Indiana. I'm a Cubs fan, a Pacers fan, and now and have been a Jets fan since 84.
Indy, I love hearing those stories because, again, to your point, and it's for whatever it is, when people say, hey, let me tell you a Mark Gastineau story, it's normally shitty. It's like, this guy did this horrible thing. This guy did this horrible thing. And, people can tell whatever stories they want, but it's cool to hear that it's well-rounded. He wasn't just this terrible guy. There was all kinds of chapters in his life, and everyone's complicated. Man, that's so cool to hear that story. Yeah. That's awesome, man.
So, to further add to that, remember when the 30 for 30 came out with Connie Carberry?
Yes. Yep.
Okay. When that came out, I had hit Connie up on Facebook, and she replied, and I said, I just Connie is the main reason why Mark Gastineau even became a Jet.
Correct. Yes.
Right.
Story. Yeah.
Okay. So and so I'm telling her this story. Her and I are kind of talking back and forth, chatting back and forth, and so I end up telling the whole story. About 2 days after that, she calls me through Facebook, and she says, I just wanted to let you know that I passed that story on to Mark, and he goes, I remember this kid. And she's sitting there saying this, and she goes, all of a sudden she goes, oh, and guess who I'm here with? And Mark was sitting next to her.
No way.
And this was only, I want to say this was probably 4 or 5 years ago. Something like that. I have to look back and see. And anyway, she's got Mark, and so now Mark and I are sitting in, and now mind you, this was 40. This happened 40 years ago,
Right.
and he still remembered that. And then he's like, I remember it. And so now I got Connie and Mark and I all on this video call. And he says, I remember that day.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's so cool, man.
Yeah. So I know that there's a lot of negatives that people talk about Mark, and most of them are all true. I'm not gonna say that they're not. But that's the reason. He's the reason I become a Jets fan. And have died, live and die the green. But I just wanted to give a positive story that,
thank you.
Back in '84, Mark was actually a pretty good dude, and he was, and for the most part, he really was. He just made some really bad decisions. But in 1984, he made a decision to say, "Hey, kid, come out here and hang out with us." And there you go. Just wanted to share that with you, BG.
Thanks, Indy. I love it. Great. And people are appreciating that in the comment section. Thanks for telling that. Oh, God, that's so cool, man. That's an awesome story. Man, that's such a good story. I will see this. And I had the same thought. Hep just said, Paul, you should get Connie on the show. I met Connie. One of my bucket list items I got to do a couple years ago. It was going to the Pro Football Hall of Fame. That was on my bucket list. I've always wanted to go to the Pro Football Hall of Fame. I've been a football historian for a long time. On top of being a Jets fan, I just love the history of the National Football League and seeing the bust in Canton. And I will tell you, for anyone who's never been to Canton, Ohio, for the Pro Football Hall of Fame, like at any time of the year, because you could go whenever you want, but specifically around Hall of Fame time, I've only been once, and it was around Hall of Fame time. It's sort of overwhelming, to be honest, because there's just so much to do that's hard to bottle it up all on a trip. I was with Jake Asman, Matt O'Leary, and us three did a thing at a restaurant where we met a bunch of Jet fans, and that was super cool. I got to meet a lot of cool Jet fans. And also during that trip, I met Connie. Before we went to our party, there's this VIP party with Gotham City crew. I think I had a few Jets players there. Connie was there, and I got to meet Connie, and she is an absolute treat. We have never had her on this video show. I've definitely done it over the last 13, 15 years, whatever it was, of the audio version. We've definitely done a call with her, but I haven't had her on the video show, so that would be great. And it was awesome to meet Connie a couple years ago, so yeah, let's do it. That'd be great. She'd obviously be wonderful insight for this Mark Gastineau conversation. Excuse me, that'd be pretty cool. Papa Jet 73 says, awesome story, Indy. Gastineau made you a Jet, and John Riggins did it for me. There you go, right here. This mini helmet, shout out to my guy NY Jet Situation Report. I won this John Riggins autographed mini helmet. So salute to John Riggins, baby, for sure. Toot toot. Awesome on the John Riggins. That's cool. I love hearing all your stories, guys. So let them hear it. Let them hear it. That'd be great. For Lily just says, like, let's get Mark Gastineau on the show. Yeah, Mark would be great on the show, I'm sure. Yeah, I'm open, especially for getting into the summer. I'd love to have all kinds of guests on the show. Awesome. All right, let's go back to the phone lines. We got the one and only Scotty Mayhem here on the program.
That was such a great story by Indy Jet. Loved
So cool.
hearing it. I remember the sack exchange for the younger Jet fans. That was a monstrous team. We actually came so close to going to the Super Bowl, but there was a terrible penalty called against Gastineau in the Cleveland against Cleveland. Bernie Kosar. And they gave him a 15-yard penalty, which gave them the opportunity to drive down the field. And yeah, it was brutal. But what a great team! What great memories from the sack exchange. Those guys were awesome. I was a Klecko guy, but loved Gastineau. Loved the sack dance. He was kind of the guy who started it all for celebrations. And at the time, there was a lot of pushback against him for exhibiting that emotion. But I always appreciated it. I always felt like he was, it was over the top, but he was just celebrating, the victory, and a lot of even his own teammates. I mean, Klecko and him, they hated each other. unfortunately.
And look at it now. Sack celebrations are the in thing. Everyone loves these crazy ass celebrations. But, when he did it, a lot of people apparently did not. And it rubbed people the wrong way. But now it's widely accepted. So, what are you going to do?
He was a trailblazer. There's no doubt
For
about
sure.
it. I don't think he gets enough love, for his performance. I mean, is he a Hall of Famer? Is, on the cusp, maybe he didn't play enough years, but he was by far and away the best sack artist back in the day. And remember, Paul, that's just when they started, calculating the sacks. The year or two before that, they didn't even count sacks. So, he really brought that to a next level. So I really appreciated that Indy story. And unlike Alon, who roots against the Knicks, I applaud Indy. He's a Pacer fan. They're a great team. I don't talk negative about the Pacers. I think it's going to be a great series. And hey, I'm the bet guy. Anybody on the Indiana Pacers wants to make a bet, Indy, I'm happy to make a bet with you. Get you a throwback Gastineau jersey or a Halliburton jersey, and you can get me a Brunson or a Klecko jersey. Offers open.
I like that. Okay.
Just let me know before the first game, though, Indy, if you're in.
Yeah, that's true. Before the series starts, that seems fair. Yeah.
I don't do like Paul, where he's down 3-1 and makes the bet with Chef Kevin. I'm not quite.
I'm an idiot. Yes, right. Yeah, learn from my mistakes, people. Learn from my mistakes.
Your dad's math was there was no chance for us, so I understood where you were coming from. There was no possibility. You were brainwashed as a child.
That's true. That's a good, fair point. I had no choice. Right.
You had no choice. You had to stick up for your team, but our bet is a lot farther away.
Sure. That's deeper. So. There's a lot of layers to that one. Yeah.
All right. So getting back to the Jets for a second, Mr. Paul.
Yeah. Okay.
I just, I don't understand the love that Amari Cooper at 30 is getting. I mean, if you watch, he couldn't even get on the field at the end of the year. I mean, he was so shot. I mean, you have one of the best quarterbacks in the league with Josh Allen. And he just barely got, not even with the Bills, I got like a couple of 100 yards. He couldn't play. He wasn't even getting on the field. So
weird.
The name is amazing, but the player is not the guy we want. I mean, it wasn't injuries. He's just shot, I think. What is your thought on that? Do you think Amari Cooper is going to suddenly come back and do it? I mean,
well, here's the thing I don't know. To your point, why wouldn't it have worked in Buffalo? Josh Allen was the MVP quarterback. What in God's grace? In theory, that's why everyone was talking it up at the time, right? They got him for a 3rd-round pick, and they were like, this is going to be this great move. And I thought so, too. I'm like, damn, they got him for dirt cheap. They got him for like $1 million because of how the contract worked with Cleveland, and they got him only for a 3rd-round pick, a song. And I'm like, damn. Buffalo just got a nice little find here. And that was just weeks after we had gotten Devontae Adams. I'm like, oh, man, there's like an arms race going on in the AFC East. And I thought Cooper was going to be awesome, and he wasn't. He had like 200 yards over the insert amount of games, and that's basically the same thing he had in Cleveland. He had another 200-something yards, and there was some weird injury thing in Cleveland, but it seemed more not injury. It seemed more trade-related than injury. Yeah, I can't explain why I didn't get on the field or why it didn't work. I'll have to talk to my Bills people, which I'll be talking to here shortly, and try to get some sort of an insight there. But prior to whatever the F last year was, whatever that weird thing was where he was partly on Cleveland, partly on Buffalo, and the results are the lowest of his entire career in catches, yards, and touchdowns. That's the worst season he's ever had last season. Prior to that, he was on a heater. He was on a run. Did he fall? To your point, was last year the truth? Did he fall off a cliff? And then someone's going to try to dip their toe in the water and go, oh, shit, he is cooked. He is washed. Or they could be like, oh, cool, last year was an outlier. That is a debate or conversation to be had. I love your boy, who we have not brought up yet, but your guy, Keenan Allen. If we're going to go for a wide receiver, you want KA. And Keenan Allen is a really good route runner. He doesn't seem to cause any problems in the locker room. Obviously, injuries were a problem, but he's a really talented guy. He's a league leader in most of the Chargers receiving categories. I mean, either one of those, to me, would be upgrades over what we have. I'm curious if the Jets even pull the trigger, or do they just keep the group that they have? I'll be sort of curious as we go through this process.
Yeah, I think Keenan Allen is such a better choice. I mean, listen, he was playing on one leg last year. He had over 700 yards. He had multiple touchdowns. That was like his worst year because he's so productive every year.
Of course, right.
Didn't he play? He played with Justin Fields, right? What were the statistics?
Who's that?
Keenan. Didn't Keenan play with Justin Fields?
No. Keenan's first year was last year. Justin Fields was already in Pittsburgh.
Okay. Yeah, I thought they might have chemistry for that reason, so I misunderstood. I thought
No,
they
that's
had
okay. That
played
would have been.
together.
I'm sure they know
But
each other. Yeah,
but still, I mean, you got to look at Keenan's year-over-year production. I mean, it didn't seem like he fell off a cliff last year. He still had over 700 yards, and
it's
and
true.
he was truly injured. I mean, it was acknowledged that the guy was injured last year. So, look, for if you're going to spend probably like 5 million plus incentives, I'm looking at it like the deal that they gave the offensive lineman from the Cowboys.
Hmm.
If it's an incentivized deal and you're paying the guy $5 million, I mean, if he has an upside like Brandon Marshall kind of year, it's a home run. And he's a senior guy. I
Hmm.
still don't understand the veteran. There's no veteran leadership in this locker room. You need a couple of guys who are veterans. I think Keenan Allen is like the perfect guy. Amari strikes me more, over the years, he's been very much about, making the buck, and there's nothing wrong with that, but he's never been a team leader. He travels from team to team. I think Keenan Allen is more of a guy who would be solid in the locker room. So there's a lot of intangibles with him. They're both great route runners, but I mean, the guy couldn't get on the field last year, Amari Cooper. So I don't know why everybody's talking up that deal. I just think Keenan Allen's the right way to go.
And by the way, here are the stats, right, from Keenan. I was just adding up a couple of things. So over the last 8 seasons, 5 of them have been 100+ catches in a season. Look at the stats even the last 2 years. We'll combine the last 2 years. Those are the most recent. His final year with the Chargers and then his first year with the Bears. Over those 2 years, he has 178 catches for 2,000 yards and 14 touchdowns. I mean, those are insane numbers that he's put up. He's had 7 touchdowns in each of the last 2 years. And since 2017, he's had at least 4 touchdowns in every season, but most of them have been 6+ touchdowns in every season. Like, there's just a lot of insane production here for Keenan Allen.
Keenan Allen? Did you say Keenan Allen? I mean, that's
I
why I
did.
wrote to his agents. I mean, his
Yeah.
stats are ridiculous. And last year, if you just look at his stats, he had over 700 yards. And again, everybody acknowledges he was injured the whole year. So, that to me, that's the clear pick. And if
Oh,
you look at
wait a second here,
yeah,
Scotty. Wait a second. I'm
okay,
getting something in my ear.
okay.
Let me see what it is here. What the hell is going on? Wait, I think I heard it. The Jets is back on the show.
Scotty.
Let's go, Indy Jets. Let's go. It's going to be a
Let's go,
series, my
buddy.
man.
It is going to be a series. So, I like the idea of putting some kind of wager on it, but I want to throw a twist in it.
Oh yeah, here we go.
Instead of us, benefiting from it, because if I win the bet, or we win just by our team winning. So what I'd like to do is, let's do this. Let's put whoever loses. We send $50 or $100 to BG's favorite charity. He
Well,
gets to pick.
that was a given. I mean, I didn't finish the bet. I just wanted to start off by us having. Look, are you going to go to the tailgate? Are you going to the tailgate?
Well, actually, I live in. Or you're talking about BG's? See, I live in South Carolina now.
I live in Florida.
And so I don't know if I'll be. I don't know if I'll be coming up for the tailgate.
Gotta be part of the bet.
Because I missed
part of the bet.
Well, because I missed the Jake Asman draft party due to American Airlines postponing my flight till 9 o'clock at night. That just, so I literally sat in the airport for 6 hours. So I missed the whole draft party, and so I changed that flight to week 3. I'll be down at the Tampa game. For the Jets travel, Jake's doing the Tampa game down there. And so I've already got that planned. So I just haven't really made plans yet on when on this tailgate for BG.
So I'll throw this out. I'm going to put a twist on your twist. The $50 or the $100, I'll leave it to you. I'll put $100 up if Indiana wins. That goes straight to Boy Green. No issue there.
Now, Boy Green's charity. I wanted. I realized Boy Green's his favorite charity, but we'll go to his second favorite charity.
Whatever Boy Green wants to do with the $100,
Yes.
whatever he wants to do with it is fine with me. I'm
Fair
putting
enough.
up $100. and Boy
Yep.
Green could spend it on himself, his family, or his charity.
all
That's
right,
up
sweet.
to him. Okay.
Right.
Jersey for jersey. Either we do Halliburton, I have to wear, or Brunson, you have to wear, and we have to
boy.
buy it. So, if I win,
Oh.
you buy me a Brunson jersey. If you win, I buy you a Halliburton jersey, because I'm not wearing Halliburton unless you win. And you wear
So I have to
Brunson
buy.
if you win.
How about this? How about I buy the Brunson jersey? I'll wear it and then send it to you.
There you go.
As long as it smells nasty, keep it. If you wash it, you can send it to me. I'll do the same. I'll wear the
Right.
I'll wear the Halliburton jersey on Boy Green's show,
Sure,
and then
okay.
ship it to you. You wear
Nice.
the
Yep.
Brunson jersey on Boy Green's show and ship it to me. But please wash it. I'll wash yours. Okay.
Right. Yeah. That's kind of a given. Yeah. So let's do that. So we've got two things for the bet. It's in stone, BG.
Yeah, boom. Okay.
So
Wow.
Yeah.
either way, win or lose, I'm sending $100 to Boy Green. You're buying me a jersey, but you're wearing it. I'm buying you a jersey if I lose and wearing it, and then shipping
It's official.
it. So, done.
There you go. And I think it's going to be a 7-game series.
Nice.
And I think the team that wins is going to be based on who's the healthiest at Game 7.
That's
we
probably
won't-
true.
Because you already know between the Knicks and Pacers, somebody's going to get hurt. That's just the way it happens.
Well,
Probably.
Indy, last year, I believe we went 7 games, and there were 4 players on our side that didn't play. So let's remember last year, the 7 games when you beat us, Julius Randle
I remember.
was in the playoffs. Brunson had a broken leg. Let's see.
I'm with you. I'm
abdominal strain. And wait, there was one other injury. OG and Obi had Obi-Wan Kenobi had a hamstring, and it still went 7 games. So as long as we have our players, I'm not too worried about the injuries. I'm not gonna worry about that.
All right. Here we go.
Yeah.
The bet's official.
So what's your prediction then, Scotty? I said we're going 7.
Yeah, I said to Boy Green the other day, I mean, I think Indy has a great team. So I am not diminishing you. I'm not denigrating you. I wouldn't be throwing garbage at you if we were at the Nika Nation in the streets.
That's good to know.
I wouldn't do that. The fireman I know is going to be at the game 4.
He is.
So good for him.
Game 4. That's right.
So
awesome. Shout out to
congratulations.
Halliburton and the Pacers for that, by the way. Pretty cool.
By the way, if it was Alon, I wouldn't have thrown garbage at him. But my
That's
prediction,
saying something.
my prediction is 6 games. I think the Knicks are going to win it in 6.
Ooh.
And I think it's going to be a great series. I think you guys have the better offensive team, but I think if you watch the Boston Celtics against the New York Knicks, we showed you in Game 6 what we're all about. This is not throwing up 3-pointer shots. This is about playing a full basketball game, mentally tough. If you don't love basketball, you don't love the Knicks, because, I mean, look what the Celtics did to us in Game 1 and Game 2. We came back. So
here's what I would think, Scotty, is, I'm more of a fan of the 90s style basketball, that style of basketball than today's basketball. But I will say, in that Celtics series, I saw some 90s grit come out of that Knicks team.
That's why I just say respect our team.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of disrespect on this channel from not so much from Boy Green. He showed who he is with his bets. He stood up for his team. His pop,
0.0%.
I don't like to talk ill about people's parents, but I'm
that.
still waiting for a response from Hop on Pop, because I have.
Yeah, he has not responded yet. I think he's here on Saturday.
You have a very clear email from me, Boy Green, about that.
It was
bet,
very clear. Yeah.
But in any event, I'm excited about this bet with Indy Jet. I believe he's a true fan. I know he loves, college basketball, but great team. I'm not going to talk ill of them, but I'll let my team do its talking, then I'll be looking forward to my.
I just wanted to give the Knicks a little props, because I did see some. Like I said, I'm a fan of that 90s gritty, hard, and they came out, especially in that first 2 games when they were down by 20. They came out and showed that they just weren't done, and that is a
Well,
great.
Those were great. It's never been done before, but the better part of that, I mean, those were amazing. And even Pop gave us some credit for that because nobody's
Yeah.
ever done that before. But the true measure of the New York Knicks was the way they changed their play in Game 6. If you go back to that game, I've never seen one player guard 5 players in a series. Or look at Josh, that was Mitchell Robinson when he guarded 5 Celtics, and then we got that ball. And then you saw Josh Hart. There were 2 Celtics in front of him, and he ran in between both of them and got the ball. That's what my team's about. By the way, I'm a large. Microphone drop.
Yeah,
Boy,
same
Green will
here.
give you my address.
Okay, large both ways. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. It's a large either way. So we'll go with the we'll go with just a standard large, but yeah, great bet. And hey, we'll look forward to that tomorrow. It starts tomorrow, right?
Yep, tomorrow
Wednesday.
night. Yep.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't even remember what time, but yeah. So tomorrow will be a good,
Let's go.
will be a good a good day. Yeah.
That's it.
The
But
one
good
problem-
pleasure talking to you, Scotty. BG.
I want to mention
Yeah.
one last thing before we get off the phone.
Yeah.
The one big problem you have is not your team. Your team's amazing, and it's going to be a fun series. The biggest problem you have is the problem that Pop had and Boy Green had, which is Alon is on your bandwagon. If I
Oh,
was
I
you,
see.
I would figure out a way to get him off your bandwagon as fast as possible.
Well, here's the thing. I know that it's only temporary. I know that once this series is over with, he's gone. So it's not a permanent thing.
That's
so it's
true.
kind of like a rash. It'll go away.
It
That's
may
it.
go away, but it may be next year before you get another chance. So
Well,
good luck with him.
Well,
We'll keep an eye out for
Yeah,
you.
right.
Scotty, Indy, love you guys. The bet is official. Well, we don't really have a sound for that, but the bet's official. Yes. The bet is in the books. Well, I guess this will be our sounder because we have it right here as well. Luca coming in here on the show. He's been a member for 4 months. He's sending in a YouTube super chat member shout out here. Every time I get one of those, we hear from my daughter, Zariah Luna.
Wow.
Message is JETS, Jets. Let me hear it from the high lords above. Let's go, Luca. The bet is official. And OTA start today. What a wonderful time of year. And salute to Scotty and Indy. And both doing that bet on this show. And we'll get updates on that throughout the NBA playoffs. Another thing to pay attention to as we're going through this. Good luck to the Pacers. Good luck to the Knicks. Good luck to all you guys. Here we go. And there it is. Havmo63 already knows the words I'm about to say. Gotta head to the radio station, baby. But thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Like the video. Hit subscribe. We'll be back at 3 o'clock. Okay, Boy Green meets Woody. We'll give you our top 5 players to watch in OTAs for the New York Jets with some intriguing storylines. All that coming up again at 3 p.m. Like the video, hit subscribe. If you're watching live here on YouTube, like and subscribe. If you're watching after the fact, like and subscribe. That's one of the top ways, quite frankly, you could support the program. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We'll see you back at 3 o'clock. Enjoy. Let's go. JETS. Jets.